Hello everyone, welcome back to another Project Gladiator weather forecast. Today I'll be covering the weather for August 6th of 2023. Currently there is a slight risk region for the eastern part of the United States. This is going to be broken down into two separate main regions for severe weather. There is going to be the northern region for southern Illinois, southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, and parts of eastern Missouri, as well as a southern area for severe weather for northern Alabama, northern Georgia, northern Mississippi, southern Tennessee, and western Tennessee as well. We also do have a pretty large marginal threat around that does extend into parts of western North Carolina all the way into parts of Arkansas and eastern Missouri. We also do have a marginal threat that I probably won't cover at all in today's forecast for southern Wyoming into central Colorado. As for our threats for today, we do have a 5% tornado threat for southern Illinois with a 2% tornado threat around that, as well as a small 2% tornado threat for northern Ohio into the Detroit region of Michigan. As for wind, we do have a 15% for the slight risk region with a 5% for the marginal threat region around that, as well as two different 5% for the marginal threat in the high plains. And as for hail, we do have a 15% for the slight risk region, the northern slight risk region, as well as the possibility of large hail for that region as well. We do have a 5% hail threat for that southern region of the slight risk region, as well as a 5% for the marginal threat region in the high plains. Taking a look at our weather models on Radar Omega, starting off with our 500 millibars, focusing on the northern region for that slight risk area, you can see that we do have that low pressure system that is expected to continue propagating eastward over the next few days. This low pressure system is expected to move through the area and aid in severe weather development, and you can see that it is expected to be pretty strong with mid-level flow in the upper 40 knots and the mid 40 knots as well, possibly getting into the low 50 knots. That is going to allow for the possibility of some elongated hodographs and the possibility of large hail across this region. And you can see that low pressure system does have a pretty prominent change in direction, so we could see the possibility of some strong directional shear, allowing for the possibility of a few tornadoes across this region. And then for the southern region of that slight risk area, you can see that it is expected to be a little bit of a combination of the jet stream as well as a touch of the low pressure system pushing on the jet stream as well across the southern slight risk region. So that is going to be our main triggering factors for that southern slight risk region. And then a little something for tomorrow, you can see that low pressure system is expected to continue propagating eastward and have a large area of defluency across the eastern United States. You can see wind flow across the southern reaches of the Atlantic region moving pretty much westward, and then we also do have a large area of wind flow moving northeastward across the northern Ohio Valley. So we are expected to see a large area of defluency across this region, which should allow for the possibility of some large amounts of lift in this region as well. So we could see the possibility of some fairly strong severe weather across this region tomorrow. This is currently issued as a enhanced risk that could be upgraded by tomorrow. I wouldn't say it's out of the question. It could definitely happen, but currently we have a 5% tornado threat and an enhanced risk region that could be increased by tomorrow. That is just a little something for tomorrow. Just keep that in mind if you live in this region. And then let's take a look at our dew points, starting off with the northern region of that slight risk area. You can see that we are expected to have some fairly strong dew points that could reach the mid and upper 70s, and then for the southern regions of that slight risk area, we could see the possibility of dew points that do reach the mid and upper 70s as well. So we do have some fairly similar dew points across this entire region, so we could see the possibility of K values that do reach the 3000s for the entire area. And then taking a look at our instability, starting off with the northern region of that slight risk area, you can see that we are expected to have some fairly strong Cape values that are going to get into the 3000s like I predicted, possibly getting into the mid 3000s and even the upper 3000s as well. And then further down south, you can see that we do have pretty much the same thing as well. Cape values are expected to be in the 3000s, possibly getting into the mid and upper 3000s. So we could see the possibility of some fairly strong damaging winds across this area. And then for the northern region with mid-level flow aloft and the possibility of elongated hodographs, we could see the possibility of large hail, as well as the possibility of some strong energy helicity index readings and the possibility of a few tornadoes across this area. And then taking a look at our energy helicity index, taking a look at the 5% tornado threat, and then we'll move on to the small 2% tornado threat from northern Ohio. You can see that we are expected to have some strong energy helicity index readings, getting up to the 3s and 2s, possibly even into the 4s in some small regions. There was another one further down south as well. So we could see the possibility of a few tornadoes across this region. And then taking a look at the 2% tornado threat for northern Ohio, I didn't really cover this too much on my written forecast, so some things might be a little fuzzy. It does appear that there could be some small energy helicity index readings in the very weak values, in the very weak ones, and the low ones. It does look like the 2% could be extended further down by 4 p.m., but it doesn't really look all that certain, as these readings are very, very weak. What I would essentially be saying is if there's a 2% tornado threat for this entire region, then there should be a increased 2% tornado threat for southeastern Tennessee, which that is not the case. So I don't really know what's up with this 2% tornado threat. We could see the possibility of 1 or 2 brief tornadoes. So just keep that in mind if you live in this area. I'm not really sure what's up with that, but again, we could see the possibility of a few tornadoes across this 5% tornado threat region. Now that I've told you the weather, please go down to the description and check out the socials for Project Gladiator, and join the Discord for any updates on Project Gladiator. If you live in any of the areas I covered for severe weather for today, please stay weather alert for the time being, and hopefully I will be able to see you guys tomorrow with another forecast.